How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with Homebrew. That's fucking Homebrew. That's some Homebrew labeling going on right there. Not really. That's professional labeling. In the form of Everett Brewhouse Brewing. It is their Codswallop Old Ale. A fine old ale. So it's 9.3%. This was almost exactly 1 year old. It was bottled in February 2020. It comes courtesy of my boy Tyler. He has a ton of homebrew that he sent me. He sent me off a box of, I think it was like 7 or 8 homebrews and then a couple commercial beers, 2 commercial beers. This is the first one I'm diving into because I am an old ale junkie. And I just did a couple beer reviews and I kind of want to end with a little something, a little bit bigger. Did a couple small beers. So all it says is a fine old ale. I actually said something in the unboxing saying, I don't know if it's an actual old ale where it's open fermented or bred or anything like that. He said it's a base kind of barley wine. I believe he said there was a treacle addition to this, kind of like a little bit of kind of molassesy, fudgy kind of thing going on. So we'll see what's what. So it's got a year on it, as all old ale should, at minimum. And 9.3%, that's all we get here. He doesn't even have his brewery name on this one. All the other ones that he's that I got from him actually have had the name of his homebrew setup. So Homebrew Wednesday. Homebrew's getting crazy, man. You sons of bitches doing the homebrew. This glass looks funky. What's going on here right now? This is clean. It's clean. There's something going. There's like a salt deposit at the bottom. It makes this beer, makes the glass look dirty, by the way, but it's not. Anyway, oh man, that looks fucking awesome. This is exactly how I like my barley wines to look. And honestly, more often than not, you can't get that look unless it has time on it. Now, like I said, I believe there was an addition of a sweet sugar, some kind of addition to it. But, I mean, look at that. Label-wise, fantastic. What you'd expect. Not even just label-wise, but bottle shape-wise. Kind of just reminds you of old beer. And as far as that looks, it's got that murky kind of doo-doo water kind of thing going on it, which I think is absolutely a must for aged barley wine. Sure. Only a year old, but we'll allow it. So you get that rich kind of malt ball colored head, that doo-doo water kind of body to it. Let's see if we get a nose. That smells awesome, dude. There's a little bit of oxidation going on, a little bit of mustiness, a little bit of green apple, a little bit of iced tea vibes to it. So there's a little bit of age to it, which I don't mind. But it has this big, rich... I'm not going to go to you talked about a treacle addition to this. I won't go there. It's a little bit more molassesy for me, but there's definitely like a huge fig component to this. Fig with the dates backing that up. So it has this richness to it, this oldness that's going to eventually morph into a sugar daddy. It smells nice, and I like that little bit of soft oxidation going on, that little bit of tannic kind of tea-like. It could be a little bit of old hop addition to it too, but I think it's a combination of the two actually. Probably a little bit of old hops, a little bit of oxidation in a positive sense, and I think it smells really, really nice. It's not like, and we're talking homebrew here, so I shouldn't even really do this, but it's not like old stock or old hardy level stuff. JW Lee's will throw out the window because their yeast phenolic is bonkers. But it does have that rich kind of old ale barley wine thing going on for it. Uber English, especially with that little bit of kind of tea-like tannic hop thing going on. We're just diving in. Cheers. That's delicious. That's delicious. And you know what it reminds me of? I'm going to say this with positive. It very much reminds me of Fuller's vintage ale. That's what it reminds me of. It's not as impactful or as sharp or as electric as a, 10, 11, 12% kind of OG status English barley wine. 9.3%. Less than 10%. So it's not a huge beer, but it has that richness, that mouthfeel that you really want from like an old ale / barley wine. You're getting that figgy leading away with that date and brown sugar and slight molasses kind of thing in the background. And while it doesn't have that kind of 2x4 to the face of those previous commercial beers, keep you in mind, with that I mentioned previously, it has this softness and drinkability that you get from some of these lower ABV kind of English influenced kind of old ale / barley wines. And it really does have a Fuller's vintage ale kind of vibe to it. I don't do this. I really try to go out of my way to not talk about other beers or commercial beers in homebrew reviews. I think it's a little bit of bad form. And I don't think... I don't know. I just don't like it. I like to keep those two worlds separate. But there's something about this beer, and maybe the label's throwing me off because it looks like commercial beer, that makes me want to make those connections. The difference where this kind of actually varies from Fuller's vintage is I think it's got a nicer mouthfeel to it, and it's definitely a little bit more bittering. Now, I think the last time I've had Fuller vintage was like the youngest it was maybe 3 or 4 years old, so that could be the variance here. But I like it. I dig it quite a bit. It's almost like a drinkable session barley wine, if you will. But really tasteful stuff, man. There's really nothing negative here. Like I said, talking about it on the nose, I got a little bit of green apple. I got a oxidation on it, which I think is a positive, and I think it's there actually in the taste, but not as big as it is on the nose. So take any of those kind of negative points that I actually got in those from that little bit of green apple, and you translate it to the taste, it's not really there. So there's really not much to really pick apart on this. The only thing I would, if I was like a hard up BJCP nerd judge, I might sit here and kind of peck at it about the oxidation thing, but I like a little bit of oxidation in my old ale. I think that is a positive, so I'm not going to pick at it, and I think it's really fucking tasty. Let's put it this way. If I roll in the tap room of a brewery and they have this on draft, a year old, they say, we busted out a year old keg of an old ale we made, but it's less than 10%. When I get a glass of this, I'm fucking ecstatic. Listen, if you go back the past month or so for my Homebrew Wednesdays, I'm not saying negative shit. The last time I said negative stuff was a huge oxidation issue, and I believe it might have been was it Will and Dan, one of their beers that they sent off. And it's not me, and I get a little self-conscious about this, and that, if I say nice things too often, people think you're just regurgitating stuff. You're just saying nice things to be nice. More than any time, I try to be as, impartial as possible when it comes to homebrew, because I think it serves no purpose just to say nice things. You can sit here and say nice things for your own, whatever motivation you have to say nice things, whether you think you're going to get free shit or you think like people think you're cool, whatever. That's never been my MO. And I kind of take that infinitely more to heart when it comes to homebrew, because I think the whole purpose for someone to take their homebrew, which is infinitely personal, pack it up, send it to this fucking guy, and have me talk about it. That's, it's kind of setting yourself up on a bad date, potentially. And just to be nice for the sake of being nice, I think does nobody any good. It doesn't do me any good, but in the end, it wouldn't do Tyler any good in any form or fashion. So I'm telling you the truth, dude. This is really good. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Knee-jerk me wants to be like, I want a little bit more of this. I want a little bit more of that. I want a little bit more kind of erring towards that sugar daddy realm. But you're giving it to me at sub 10%. That's where I think the key for this beer kind of lies, and that I'm not going to sit here and kind of, where I talk about, a lot of times I talk about, hazy IPAs, 7, 8, 9% hazy IPAs, and I wish there were 5%, sub 5%, 6%. It's because I've had that robustness. I've had that flavor. I've had that 9% hazy triple IPA. I've had that flavor impact at 5.5, 6. I really have never had the flavor impact of a 12, 13% barley wine / old ale in an 8% version. You can't, somebody might pull it off. I don't know, but I've never had it. So that kind of ABV high horse, I'm not really going to bang on all that much. And understand that in the sense that with that in mind, knowing that this level of impact and this level of flavor at a sub 10% kind of old ale / barley wine, in the way it kind of comes off, is fantastic. So there you go. You get nothing to work off of. I think it's great. Yeah, there you go. You should have never sent it to me. You get nothing. Yeah, reassurance, validation from me. What is that worth? Anyway, so there you go. Oh man, to be self-deprecating. Anyway, so there you go. A little bit of homebrew review in the books. We don't do anything else beyond just kind of talk about the beer and go from there. So thank you very much, Tyler, for sending this off. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to dive into the other ones, especially that purple drink. That's the other thing. He didn't send me just, all barley wine or all hazies. He sent me a purple drink, Fruit Loop beer. He sent me an old ale. He sent me some mixed culture saison. He sent me all kinds of crazy shit. So I can't wait to dive into the other ones, brother. Homebrew. You want to send it off? You're more than welcome to reach out, Matt at massivebeers.com or massivebeers@gmail.com. Massive Beers. Type that in the Google. See me doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif. Type that in the Google. See me doing a podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying some homebrew right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.